Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your December reading. So, I've already done a couple of readings for December 1st through 15th, but I am actually going to segue into just the rest of the signs, making them for the entire month of December because I'm going to be skipping the mid-month readings this month. And just with work and family in town, I'm a bit too busy to do the mid-month readings, but and I also need to make time for the 2018 readings and also the January readings. So this is going to be your December reading. So let's jump in. I have already meditated and shuffled on your sign, and I'll start with the animal cards. And these animal cards are just a thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread, and also to keep in mind as we move through the rest of December. So the animal cards, very interesting. I'm just flipping these as we go, so I already laid them out. Let's see. I hope you guys are all so happy and wonderful. Okay, so we have the raccoon and the hyena. Okay, let's go ahead and read these from the book. This is an interesting. And I feel like both of these characters here have their eye on each other and the same thing. So there's this common focus, and it almost feels like it can be a little bit, for some of you, this might be more specific, but it feels like it could be like you're both vying for some sort of attention or some sort of, I just heard ownership. I just heard the upper hand. So, okay, let's read this. So that's a bit more specific. Let's look at this generally. So I'll start with the raccoon. Pussy. Sorry. Leave it. Okay, the raccoon. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. 1 second. Oh, come here, baby. Stay. Okay. Alrighty. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists, to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness, with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times, it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, competitive, starving artist. And to bring into balance, making new work. Very interesting. So there's this feeling of looking at your ambitions and what you're ambitious for. And how do you measure your success? So I feel that these are things that you're thinking about as a means to cultivate greater fulfillment. And there's something about looking into the future and wanting to perhaps do something differently, is what it feels like. So there's this asking yourself these questions and this evaluation of ambition and success and true wants and desires, and perhaps what you've done in the past that you don't want to do again. And it feels like there's also this, there's an inhibition. It just, as this card fell, it felt like there's something about feeling oppressed by whatever mask perhaps you're wearing in some way or form, feeling like this, there's some sort of tension between expectations of you in your day-to-day life, how you're expected to show up in your day-to-day life, and the truth of who you are and what you want and how that's changed. So I do feel like it's almost as if in your external environment, there's been some changes internally around what you want for your future and who you're becoming. And it's sort of going in a slightly different direction, or just articulating itself slightly differently than perhaps what you've wanted and cultivated for yourself in the past. So right now, you're sitting in an environment that you're ready to sort of that you're ready for it to adapt and get in line with these newer internal changes and new internal changes that are coming about for you. So in that sense, this can be an obstacle to a degree. This can feel like a bit of an obstacle. Wearing that mask it feels like it's creating a separation for you that is something that you're questioning, that you're bringing into question. So the hyena energy. And we do have this sort of, there's a Gemini energy here when I'm looking at the moon. This two sides, a duality a bit. And but more than anything, I'd say there's a protective energy. So there's this feeling that there's a feeling protective around something or other. Okay. Humor, wit, sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and a crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams yet to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to, again, here we go, to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, charming, witty, fun to be around. When out of balance, scrappy, petty, suspicious. To bring into balance, sobriety. So yeah, there's like this, you're taking a sober look at things for yourself, and you're really asking yourself. Also on the bottom of the deck here, we do have the Sun of Swords. So I feel like there could be some triggers that you're being hit with here and there. Triggers around attachments, and also triggers around a process of releasing old attachments, I just heard. And we come back to this idea of the mask, of humor, wit, sarcasm, using those things that are sort of as a way to keep a separation, to keep distance. And there's this desire to break through that. There's a desire to let that go. There's a desire, most of all, to integrate that into in a more holistic way, so you feel that you're showing up more authentically, and you feel that you're able to show up more authentically for your life. And I just heard, and for my loved ones, so for loved ones as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn these over. Keep these in mind as we move through the rest of the spread here. And at the focal point of the reading, interesting, we have the Daughter of Wands. Crossing the Daughter of Wands, we have your very own card, the Lovers. In the recent past, we have the Chariot. Anchoring the spread, we have the Fool. Beautiful. Heading into the near future here, we have the Five of Cups reversed. That is really welcome news. And then crowning the spread, we have, the Eight of Wands reversed. In your general energy, we have, very interesting, Leo's card, the Strength card reversed. In your environment, we have the Four of Wands reversed. Ooh, I'm getting some movement here, some changes, changes in the home space. And then in your hopes and fears, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. And heading into, summing up December, time at the end of December. Oh my gosh! We have the Ace of Cups. That is so beautiful. And then the one card that I chose from Colette Baron Reed's, The Good Tarot, is, wow, the Hierophant. Okay. So the Daughter of Wands. I feel like I'm looking at cycles and rhythms and also tying something up. And there's this creativity. The Daughter of Wands has so much creativity and so much new blossoming creativity. So I do feel that there is this, that whatever it is you're working on right now, it's of a strong creative nature. And it's looking, I feel like you're looking to find that inspiration. You're looking to nurture that inspiration. And this inspiration feels new. Right under that, we have anchoring the spread, we have the Fool. So there is this new beginning that you've stepped into. And there's some tension around this. So I feel like it's very creative, it's very positive, but it really was a leap of faith. It feels as though you were truly stepping into, and we have the Chariot in the recent past. So it moved quickly. There's a quick, I just heard turnover, change around. So there was this, almost like this, it feels like turning and going into a slightly different direction. And in the darkness in this card, it's almost like you can't see what it's going to become, but there is this leap of faith. And there's this faith in your own capability and in your ability to grow what you need to grow. So we have the Daughter of Wands crossing the Lovers crossing the Daughter of Wands. And this is carrying, the Lovers is carrying us from the Chariot into the Five of Cups reversed in the near future here. And the feeling I'm getting is that I'm looking at some partnership and some sort of resolution. And again, this feels like there's been many steps that you've needed to take in whatever process you're moving through. But there's also, and it's required a lot of patience, and it's happening in its own time. But there's also a swiftness to this. So I feel like it's a lot of change very quickly. And whatever this is there's coming here on the horizon in December, some resolution around that. And it feels as though this is crowning the spread, and I feel like it's this moment of pause, this moment in towards the end of December, where you're able to truly reflect on whatever this Eight of Wands into the Daughter of Wands crossed by the Lovers and the Fool. So this new beginning, this partnership, and this new creativity that you want to work with. There's this moment of, okay, I have a moment to breathe here, and I'm going to reflect on this. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to shed this skin and step out of something new, transformed. So in your general energy, we have the Strength card reversed, and I feel that there's this tenderness, there's this vulnerability, and there is this feeling of not quite knowing the way forward, or feeling emotionally at times like tired and, oh, I don't quite know the way forward, but I know that I'm on track. I know that I'm on track. So we have, so it's a leap of faith that you're taking, and we see that with the Fool as well. And I feel that this, for many of you, again, this is a leap that you've already taken. It's just about, there's just this adjusting, there's this rewiring that feels like it's taking place. And it's vulnerable, and it can be uncomfortable, and but it's literally just like this upgrading, this rewiring that's happening, and you're just sort of allowing for it to take place. And I just heard, and tying up loose ends. So tying up loose ends, and I feel that could, for many of you, be around partnership or relationship. And it feels like it's this process that, although maybe it's just sort of picked up in gear, like it's picked up in speed and momentum, this change, this transformation, I feel that it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. And part of this mask energy, I feel it's related to the Strength card, and I feel like it's almost like some of you could be wearing a mask that is making things, putting on a good face, when really perhaps you're feeling a bit more vulnerable and tired. And if there's any sense of isolation, these cards are sort of asking you to to make space for some real connection by taking off that mask, by letting down those guards, by releasing the sarcasm, letting yourself be seen. So it kind of goes back to that thing of, making space for real connection. When someone asks you how you're doing, really check in with yourself and really respond. Really let them know. Because I feel like there are people that do want to connect with you, and there's so much support that is around you. It's just about opening to that. And part of that is going to mean letting that guard down. Hopefully some of you are already doing that. So in your environment, we have the Four of Wands reversed. So it feels like there's this movement of, there's this, I just heard displacement, and it feels like it's this displacement to replace. So there's this movement, there's this finding, there's a sense of finding your way on new ground. And there's this strong focus on looking ahead. And also, I feel that because of whatever's in your environment and because of the circumstances, there's this need, a necessity to compartmentalize. So I feel like you're compartmentalizing things at this point in time, and that's really serving you. It's a good time for that, especially because there is there's some sort of organizing principle at play that and things are finding a new way of relating and interacting with one another. Different aspects of your life, they're coming together and they're interweaving in a new way. And again, this rewiring energy, it also feels like it's happening in your environment. So there's just patience with that and that compartmentalizing of things. It's going to help. It's going to help you to go with the flow. It's going to help you to go with the flow. So in Hopes and Fears, we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. This feels heavier. This feels like I'm looking more at a fear and more of an obligation to question it, or this looking at finances, and this more than anything, I feel like it's this looking at what you're worth, And this card, as you can see, it feels quite weepy. So in the Hopes and Fears, there is that vulnerability, that sort of, it's a matter of, in a very nurturing way, sitting with those places in yourself that might feel unworthy, and just sitting with those feelings can do such a can be so powerfully healing for that sense of not feeling worth it, because you're immediately in that moment, just by giving your presence to yourself, just by being present with yourself and shedding that awareness on these soft, tender spots, it is saying you are worth it. Just by the power of my attention, I'm saying that you're worth it. You're worth my love, you're worth my attention. And there's something that can be profoundly healing about that. Now, this is beautiful, coming into the new year, into the end of December, and I feel like there's this strong wave of coming in, a lot of love and relationship and new inspiration and fountains of growth, I just heard. So I feel 2018 is going to be really, really strong, especially this is next to the Hierophant. So there is, whatever this change that's taking place is it's really coming right from your higher self. It's something that you're really bringing something from the higher realms, and you're grounding it in reality. You're making something real, and you're becoming more of yourself. And for many of you, this could be new love, and just this new relationship. There's this new sort of health around relationship. It's really, really, really beautiful and exciting. And there's a lot of fulfillment and new hope. I just heard new hope. Really, really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read the Hierophant. This is just to keep in mind as also a thematic energy for the reading. and also an energy just summing up December and carrying us into the new year, which is so exciting. There we go. Spiritual practice. So this is sort of what you're in the midst of right now, is a spiritual practice. That is really profound, and it's so critical to this next phase that you're entering into, and what's coming up very strongly is this next phase of manifestation. So I feel very strongly that you're really, really manifesting something, and right now this spiritual practice, moving through this phase, is in itself a spiritual practice, and it's important to, like I said, ground, bring from the higher realms, and manifest something that that is important to you, to your evolution, and to you becoming more of who you truly are. It's a spiritual practice. When this card appears, it reminds me to be committed to a spiritual practice to ensure a conscious contact to my higher power. When I have a daily practice of prayer and meditation steeped in gratitude and committed to being a co-creator, life works out in wondrous ways. Rituals are in my highest good at this time. Exchanging vows is also highlighted. So this could also be exchanging vows, which would be so beautiful, and it's right next to the Ace of Cups. So there could be this greater commitment coming in, and that's really beautiful. For others, I just feel that so strongly that there is this transformation that you've been undergoing, and there's been this releasing, and now it almost feels like there's more space that's been made, and now there's all of this new stuff that's coming in. It's in this really, really amazing way. There's just so much manifestation, especially towards the end of December and into early January here. It's just, now there's this space. We've had this moment of reflection, and all of a sudden it's like all of this new shape starts pouring into your life. And there's that turnover, and there's that change from the old skin, shedding that old skin, and now taking this whole new form that I just heard is so much more suited. It feels like so much truer to who you are and who you're becoming. So this evolution is beautiful and profound and so exciting. So I hope that this was helpful. Check out your rising sign, your moon sign. I love you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. I am sending you all of my love and blessings and good wishes, and during this holiday season and into this new year. And I'm so grateful. It's been so much fun doing these videos for you guys. It's just been so nurturing and nourishing for me, and I hope that it's been the same for you. I love you with all my heart, and have a beautiful December.